If you pay attention to your environment, what's going on around you, and your own feelings and levels of stress, then you may very well be aware that other people and the environment around you can very easily affect how you feel, can affect your own levels of stress. And sometimes that is not so much because the environment or those around you are causing stress or bringing stressors into your own experience, but simply because they are experiencing stress and they are filled with stress, and that is seeping into your reality, for a lack of a better explanation. In sorts, you are absorbing their stress and their emotions and their energy. And this is very real. Some people are more aware of other people's feelings, emotions, and energies than others. And those people are more vulnerable to becoming affected by how other people or how the environment around them is. So even if you're not experiencing a stressor that is specific to you, that is aimed at you, that is meant for you, that is your own, you may still be affected by other people around you in your environment. So it's very important to realize how sensitive or not sensitive you may be to what's going on around you, to the people around you, because if people around you are stressed out, they may very well affect you, causing you to feel stressed, even if you didn't really have any stressors pointed or directed at you or coming at you. So you are picking up their stress rather than reacting to anything that is happening with you. So it's important to realize whether or not you are someone who may be picking up other people's stress. If you are someone who is sensitive and aware of other people's feelings, what's going on with them, your environment, you may realize or see or notice that people are stressed out. You may feel it, you may see it, you may notice it in some way. You're picking up on it. And again, like I said, that may be enough to seep into your own reality and affect you. Other times, it may be a little bit more direct in the sense that some people will come and complain or do whatever else it is that they do when they're stressed out, that they bring to your doorstep, so to speak, and essentially unburden themselves on you as if you were their therapist or as if you were their father confessor, so to speak. And they may insist upon making you their audience. Most people know a complainer, and sometimes you actively are able to avoid those people. Other times they catch you off guard, and before you know it, they have you cornered and they're unloading their problems or their complaints upon your person and upon your ears, if you will. And you have no choice, seemingly, but absorb whatever it is that they bring to you in that sense. So sometimes you may pick up on other people's stress simply by being around them, being in their environment. Other times it may be more direct, where people come to you and unburden themselves by complaining, by sharing, by telling you things you really don't need to know or want to hear. I want you to think about these things, because knowledge is half the power. If you know whether or not you are someone who is more aware and more sensitive, if you know whether you are someone who is more likely to be affected by the stress around you or other people's behaviors around you, then now you have to pay attention and figure out, what is it exactly that affects you? Is it solely when people come to you and talk to you, or maybe talk at you, or complain to you to unburden themselves. Is that how you absorb their stress? Or is it enough that you're in their presence? They're not even talking to you directly. Maybe you're in the same room or at the same event as they are, and that's enough for you to pick up their vibe, if you will, their stress, their energy. So it's important to know, are you sensitive? Are you aware of those things? And what is it that's going to affect you? Once you're aware of these things, these basics, you can then better prepare yourself for what's out there. You already take the time and put in the effort to learn all these stress management tools, to fill your stress management toolbox, to be healthy and resilient to your own stressors, to things that happen to you in your own life that specifically pertain to you. But when the stress is somebody else's and it becomes yours somehow, one way or another, then that takes another level of awareness on your part and preparation on your part. So let's say you figured out that you are someone who is aware, who is sensitive, who is likely to be affected by other people's stress. And if that means simply walking into a room or being in the vicinity of people who are stressed out, then you have your work cut out for you. You have to be able to identify those places and make a decision of whether or not you want to be there, whether or not you are resilient in the moment to be exposed to that. If you are someone who isn't as affected simply by being in someone's presence, but rather is affected by someone unburdening themselves on you, then your responsibilities, your tasks at that point are a little bit different. Not only do you have to decide whether or not to show up, you have to have some kind of plan of action for those people who tend to come to you and unburden themselves or corner you and talk at you, unleash all of their stressors as a way of making themselves feel better, but in essence, dumping their garbage on your doorstep. What does that mean for you? Does it mean you avoid certain people? Does it mean that you work on your skills of how to get away from people tactfully and in a polite way, how to avoid them, how to cut those conversations short, how to redirect those conversations? So that may be your homework. If you are dealing directly with people who come into your space and start talking to you or at you in a way that allows themselves to unburden and make themselves feel better, but in essence transfers that stress onto you, then you have to know how to cut that short, how to redirect it, how to get away from it, how to block it. Beyond understanding what to do in a situation when you're encountering other people and their stress, you also have to consider some self-care that will benefit you either before an event or situation or person that you know you can expect to bring their stress onto your doorstep, and or after being exposed to the environment or the person or people who do that to you. So you may have to engage in some self-care to build your resilience and to cleanse your own being, your own feeling, your own stress levels after being exposed to others. For some of you, that may be exercising or meditating or journaling or engaging in a hobby or going for a walk, maybe forest bathing, being with nature, whatever it takes, playing with your kids, walking your dog, catching up with your best friend, cooking a meal with your partner. whatever makes you happy. Maybe it's music, maybe it's reading. Look, the list is endless, and it depends on you to find out what is effective for you to cleanse your own person, to get rid of that stress that wasn't yours to begin with. But I want you to know that you already do all this work to learn all these different ways to manage stress, to keep yourself strong, healthy, and resilient, to be on the lookout for stressors that are your own, that are part of your life experience. But there are other things, more sneaky things, that may still affect you. The stress of other people, the stress of an environment that is simply where you happen to be at some point in time. You have to be aware of that. You have to know if and how much that affects you. You have to know what you need to do before, during, and after the event so that you can continue to manage stress as well and as effectively as possible in your life. If you'd like to learn more about a comprehensive approach to stress management, check out the link below.